Hello and welcome. Welcome to the show. I'm Isha, and with me I have my guest, Patricia. She has been an old friend of mine, a very old friend of mine, like I have always communicated with all of you regarding how I started my life here in Quincy and how I met a wonderful group of friends that took me along the journey to be where I am today and to communicate with all of you, to speak on behalf of every woman who first time visited this country, raised their children, supported their lifestyle, did their professional and their passion, and here we are after traveling all over. Patricia has taken a wonderful little break to meet me here, and so I brought her over to visit the studio and to say hello to all of you and her story. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Hi. And so, Patricia, since I know you for what, how many,
22 years, I think.
Yes, 22 years. And in all of these years, of course, we met and we had a wonderful time together. But tell me about your experience. Tell me about where all you have traveled and been in the world and seen many cultures. Share it with my audience, please.
Actually, I was born in Lebanon and I lived there. And when I got married, when I met my husband, I had to travel, to leave everything and to travel all around the world. I started my journey, like I lived 1 year in Lyon in France, and later on I came back to Boston, where I lived. I lived here in Quincy actually for 7 years, and Quincy is really a place that I love a lot, that is very close to my heart, because it's touching me a lot. Every time I come back to Quincy, I feel I am so touched, because it's a place where I grew up, where I became very strong. If I can say also where I became what I am actually now, you know. It changed me a lot. It made me strong. It made me like I know how to deal with all kind of people, with all communities all around the world. This is why, and I met you also, Ashita, and this was a nice gift ever, like God gave me.
Thank you, and I say thank you to God also. It has been a confident journey, and as I always mentioned in my previous shows, that this journey started, the formative years was in Quincy. Just like Patricia mentioned, that the years is where we learn to be confident, learn to be strong. As you saw that she came from Lebanon to Lyon, then Lyon to Quincy, and as she continued with her travel, but Quincy gave her the confidence she needed to go along to where she is. And as along the show you will see that she has done many wonderful work. She has been a great social worker. She has helped many communities, and she also speaks many languages. So Patty, tell a little bit more about what you do, and what did you see in all your global travels and stays?
Yeah, like I lived in Boston for 7 years, and it was a unique experience for me and the strongest experience, and I learned a lot here. I believe like everything I learned from the States. Really, this is what I think. And after I left Boston like in 1999, we went to Dubai, and I lived for 8 years in Dubai. It's a wonderful city, very modern, but my heart would go to the States, like if I want to say. And in Dubai, I studied to become a painter, and I had to study for 8 years, and I was lucky enough to have so many exhibitions with the Minister of Tourism and the Minister of Culture in the Heritage Village. It's a place like House Dubai, the old Dubai, and we used to exhibit there for so many exhibitions, and we got awarded, and And also we exhibited in the Palm of Dubai and in the hotel, and it was a very, very nice experience. Like even we had to paint horses, and we used to go to the club, the polo club, to watch them and to draw them and to paint for polo club also. It was a very nice experience. And later on I had to go back to Lebanon. When I got back to my work, my initial job, I am a social worker, and this is my mission in life, I believe. And I believe that I have to do something to the people, to women, for empowering women, helping them to get over of their weakness, to give them some help, some good advices. And I worked in a very poor area where like women were really abused. And
they were abused.
They were abused because when it's like a male society, you know, and women were not educated in this society, and they couldn't work and be free, you know, like they were dependent on or the father or the brother or the husband, but they were not free to lead their life the way they wanted. And here, and I saw a lot of poverty, of incest, of child abuse, of I had to deal with beaten women, and you know, I had to teach them how to become stronger, to say no, to accept not to be, to accept, to not accept their situation, to know how to say no, I don't accept to be treated badly. And but it was really hard, like work, you know. So I saw so many bad things, and
so that means women were domestically abused as well as women were abused as violence, because
yes, and she couldn't decide anything. Like it's the husband who would decide. They will get a lot of kids, and even if the husband wanted to divorce, he would take the kids and leave them without kids, even if it's his fault. Like, and it was really difficult. I helped them to become strong. Like I had a woman, like she was so beautiful, but her husband used to beat her, and very badly. And after I started to talk with her, to teach her, no, you can be strong, you say no. And after a while, she wanted to divorce him, and he changed completely. He became so good with her. He bought her a car. He started teaching her how to drive.
Wow.
And he stopped beating her, you know, like.
Unbelievable. But you must have felt very good, because it's a fulfilling, rewarding way of saving a woman.
Yeah, it's a rewarding, but still we have a lot of work in this field, you know.
Absolutely.
Like, and in the Middle East, it's different, you know.
You do speak languages, right? So it helps you.
Yeah, I speak French and Arabic and
English, of course. So when you...
I am French educated. This is why I went to the French universities.
And while your stay in France, you also must have seen a lot of, you know, because why I'm asking you these questions is when we travel through different cultures and travel through different countries, it exposes us to understand the cultures and the world, and that makes us more human, I think. And you can see the deficiencies and the weaknesses and the strength in that culture. Like, because you were strong, you could help the women who were being abused, who needed a direction. In France also, I am sure there are situations where you had to be also understand the culture. Since you were educated, French educated, you understood their history, you understand their ways of life. Then, and you mentioned in one of your statements that in spite of all this, I am in love and was in love with United States because this is where I grew up. So that tells you that probably US gave you, to me it happened, the freedom, the strength and the confidence, the laws as well as, yet we come from different countries. So this speaks volumes actually on how a woman is raised and confident she can be, so she can go ahead and help others.
Definitely, you're right.
And right now, you also are continuing with some of your projects, correct?
Yes, definitely. I was the director of this center, like social medical center in this area. When I told you about the woman, the child, but very poor area. And after I moved on, when I came back to Beirut, I had to work in a rehab center for drug addicts, and it's very interesting because it's touching all the countries, all kind of population. You can't say like I am poor, I am taking drugs, or I am rich, I am taking drugs. It touches everyone, every home, it could touch every home, every family, every child, and this is very difficult for the families and even for the person who is the addict, because he cannot overcome his addiction unless he will go to a rehab center, and this is what we believe. I guess we are the first center in the Middle East and one of the best in the world, because we have a rehab, rehab center where we have they have to sleep there for 15 months and to live there for 15 months. Like that, we will have time to cure them, because we work on the psychological aspect, on the social aspect, like with the family. We work on the behavior, like to change his behavior. We work on many aspects on the spiritual side, on the corporal side, like it's a global approach for the person.
Wow. So basically you are really helping both. One, you help with violence, women in your previous work as a director, and your second approach is to bring in the rehab center to the drug addiction, to bring them to society back, to make sure that they're accepted.
We have to help them to reintegrate into society, because they are sometimes refused, and it's not only in our society, it's everywhere in the world, you know. It's so difficult to go back to the society after being in jail, you know. You lose all your rights, your civil rights, and it's very difficult. Even we work with them on the legal aspects. This is it.
Do they? Yes. Sorry.
And also, I work with refugee and displaced people, and I saw a lot of, even I saw the Syrian refugees and what they went through and the conditions they lived in. They lived in camps, and it was really hard. Like, you could find 200 people staying in one room.
Wow.
Yeah, you couldn't pass even.
So how did they
These are the camps.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't work with them.
But you had the exposure to see that the conditions were that bad. Now,
yeah,
when you
very bad. Even the hospital, they used to treat them on the floor, you know, like.
So what happens during these places? You must have had ideas, and I know while talking to people that during my travels, they said that since there are so many people in one room or one camp or these refugees, there is violence, there is sexual harassment, there is sexual violence going on, teenage girls are harassed, and all of this.
Definitely, and what is the problem is like they have to work, all these women or girls, they have to find a way to live. And sometimes they go into prostitution because it's the only way for them to live. And this is very hard, and they need to be protected, because they die or they have to do that. And this is very sad.
So this is exactly what I've been saying for ages, that the only way of survival or to get paid is they are led to prostitution forcibly. Sometimes life makes you. And one of the mission has always been to make sure that these little young girls or these girls need some kind of skilled jobs so that they don't have to prey on this lifelong abuse of trafficking, getting trafficked, prostitution, because they are girls from wonderful homes, yet they have lost everything because of the displacement of their humanity. I am so glad that we've met, but in all of these years, Patricia, you have gained so many experience, but this experience is worthwhile, and it's touching because you know the show over here, I try my level best since we came many years ago, and all our journey I try to document it with my viewers so they feel that they are not alone. Maybe somewhere someone is sitting alone having no one to talk to, or someone is getting beaten somewhere and nobody is there to say because they don't speak the language. I try day in and day out doing my shows to say that I am here, I am there for you. We have come through the same places and we have learned, and I try to lead them. And as I mentioned earlier, Patty was from, people from all over the world. So we had from Argentina, we had from Lebanon, me from India, we had from France, Anne was from France, Connie was from Germany. It just never ends. Sophie, as you all know, was from London. So it was a little world all here in Quincy, and each of us, each of these women helped each other. So it was not, we learned from each other, we helped each other, we united each other, we raised our children together, and to have this confidence, I think all of us have.
Definitely.
Don't
we
you
bonded so much, and we still until now. Can you see it? It's unbelievable. Even if we left, but it's always the same. I would never forget, and it makes me strong because I feel now I can approach any person from anywhere from the world, like any country of the world. I know how to speak with them, how to approach them, how to become friends with them, and this is gave me so much self-confidence, and it helped me also a lot.
But do you see that this is something that you don't learn in colleges? This is something we learned in our social life. We accidentally learned in our social life. And so when we decided, let's do the show, let's bring in, because there is someone somewhere who needs us. And every show has always been about helping women, helping abused women, helping all kinds of issues in society that we face or are changing times are facing, trafficking, drugs, domestic violence. It doesn't have, it's gender equality, it's humanity basically. And tell me, and you know what? We specialize in long distance relation.
Yes, for so long.
Yes, this is fabulous, and I am positive that all of you, if you can just take a little bit from each of the shows, you will also turn out to be successful individuals, all working for a little mission to help in your own ways, in your own vision, and in your own countries. Because each of us, if we put a little bit of ourselves into society, we can make this society much better. But Patty, so tell me more about what is the difference that you face when you leave United States to travel to the different countries. What is the major difference do you face in today's world? I know it's basically the same world in your life, but still there are, I felt when I went to India, and then I traveled to Europe, then I traveled to, I could see the difference in each and every country.
You have a lot of differences. but you have to get adapted to every country, you know. Some country are difficult, it's difficult to get adapted in this country. And for me, when I came to the States, it was very easy for me. Naturally, I got adapted to here. And like now, even when I come back for vacations, I feel I am home. I don't know why, don't ask me. I feel the peace, the inner peace, and I feel I belong to here. I don't know why.
That's so
Until
nice.
now.
No, I felt
maybe
the same
sometimes more than my original country. And this is very strange. Maybe because I own too much to this country.
Yes, I think you're right. You just said it. You own too much to this country because this country has given you, and when I say you, that means I also include myself, has given a lot more than I can ever dream of, and I'm sure you're the same in that respect. Tell me about your heritage, because I know that you come from an excellent family, but I would like you to mention that.
Okay, my mom is a princess, and her ancestors used to be the prince and princesses of Lebanon.
Wow.
For so many years, and after we became a republic, and they kept the title. This is it only.
So that is
but
why
not the castle.
Not the castle. Yeah, you call the castle or the chateau?
Chateau
in France. So tell me, the last name that you use is your heritage name, correct?
Shahab. It's the prince and princess. Shahab family. Yeah.
That is so nice. So that tells you that you come from an excellent family to United States via Lyon. Of course, you were in Lyon and then United States, and you have gathered the experience, the lifetime. You took the time to go and be a social worker. You took the time to serve the people who needed you the most, the women who were being abused. You took this, you still kept along. You did paint. You mentioned the palms. I know the palms is beautiful in Dubai, and I know the polo clubs. These are like very elegant, top of the line in all over the world. And yet you again took time off to come back to your country and start helping the drug rehabilitation center, and your approach to these people, that means you really have a heart and you want to serve.
I wanted to tell you something. In Dubai, I lived like a prince, like an incredible life. It's like a dream, you know. It was like hotels and breakfast and this kind of life and painting, and it was a glamorous life, like you see it maybe on the TV. It was really glamorous, but I didn't do anything to other people, you know. I lived this beautiful life. I had this experience, but after a time I felt like I have a mission. This is not a real life. If you have to help someone, you have to find the reason why you were born, you know. Everyone has to find his mission in the life, in his own life. Sometimes we cross the life like that and we don't know what is it. This, I knew I have something to do, and I had to get back to my work, and I went to the rehab center, and this was really a big mission to do, because it's not only like the life of the addict person is destroyed, it's the whole family who is destroyed. You cannot imagine. Sometimes like people, rich people would become poor, very poor, because of the addiction of their son. And the mother wouldn't sleep all night for years, and you know, and we had to rebuild this family, to give them hope, to give them happiness again, to work with them. And I guess this is my mission now. What will be my next mission? I don't know.
We don't know.
No, we never know what is waiting for us in this life.
But at the same time, you know what it is to, now it tells you that apart from our lives being connected 23 years ago, each one of us was very grounded. That's why we experienced the confidence that United States gave us. And as we grew up in our lives, the glamour could not steal our humanity.
Exactly.
We couldn't be happy in the superficial life. And so it brought us back to our roots. It brought us back to the mission you are. And these are very strong mission. This
To
is
the
not,
reason of our life. You know, it's our
I like
life.
what you
We
said.
have to find the reason why we came to this world.
This is a big question that most, like you said, most pass life without even questioning. But
Yeah.
everyone has a reason to be born in this life. No one questions that. And this is such an important statement that you shared.
Yeah, I guess when you stay lonely, when you meditate, when you think by yourself, when you are like silent, you can find out what you can do for others.
So you include meditation, that is mindfulness.
Or not exactly meditation, but when you stay alone, like far from the noise and you know the people, you can find yourself more.
And you do suggest everyone that you should question the reason for your birth. You should question
Definitely.
the mission of your birth, and don't get lost in society's superficial.
Exactly.
Because everyone is human, everyone needs us. I am so glad that you shared all your stories, and I'm so glad you came to visit me. And all these 23 years have been wonderful being together and now sharing with the viewers that this is true, what I've been saying. And we all have worked and we are keeping to work for humanity. I thank you, all of you, for joining us. See you next time. I am Isha. Bye for now. And Patricia, thank you for coming.
Thank you for receiving me.
Thank you.
I appreciate.
To my viewers, bye for now. Bye-bye.